So on my last big roadmap video for composite lumber, I had a couple people ask me what's involved in the steps from getting from basically from the beginning to victory, being the computer lab and the lasers. I put a bit of work into that. It takes a lot. So I'm going to start here. Here is the humble workbench that never stops being useful during the entire game, because you're going to wind up using it constantly. This guy makes your first tier ore processing stuff, your masonry table, butchery, tailoring, research table, right? It's from where everything springs. After this, she starts to get a little sketchy, because in order to use that stuff right there, you need basic engineering. Well, here's the problem. Basic engineering. Of course, this isn't an enclosed building, otherwise it would be a little bit easier. The basic engineering skill book requires advanced andrology papers, which requires carpentry. So, there's your first step. Carpentry. Carpentry gets you basic engineering, and now you can start processing ores. Do you want to smelt those ores? Well, hang on, that's a different line. Masonry, the kiln, and the bloomery. Just to smelt ores. You want to do something else? Well, you need smelting and carpentry to make the sawmill, to get you to mechanics, which lets you this and all the associated tables, builds you your second tier processing stuff, and then builds you the assembly line, which lets you use the blast furnace. It also gets you the concrete oven and your oil processing stuff. But to research that, yeah, here's the issue. I actually can't show you all the research in game. Like, I can walk you through. Like, this is just tables that make tables, right? And the important stuff those tables make, right? So the assembly line makes your electric machinist table, which is going to require power, which means you'll have to have made a steam engine. This thing is what makes the barrels you need to actually do oil processing. It gets you the very, very, very beautiful advanced carpentry table to get you the composites you need to build the computer lab to get victory. But wait, hang on. You need to build a different thing to get you the laser, which you need to get there. And then this guy spits out all of these. Your end tier motor pool, right? Now, this was the easy part. This was literally the easy part. If I just hit fly, you can hop up here. This was the easy part, because it's literally just what makes what. The difficult part is tying in what you need to make what. So from here, provided I haven't messed up the editing, you'll be seeing a static image that I'll be talking over. Now, you see this gigantic spiderweb on your screen? Provided I don't forget, I'll throw it up on IMGUR or somewhere like that. It's about as cleaned up as I can make it. And it doesn't involve any of the food production stuff. It doesn't involve any skill that doesn't get you to composites. Right? So smack there, bottom screen, you have composites. Now, the thick lines are the skills you need to get the next one in line. So if you put your finger on carpentry, you need carpentry to learn basic engineering. The problem is to make the papers, your basic engineering papers that get you, if we just follow my finger down like mechanics, they get you the advanced engineering papers. You need tailoring to make the cloth you'll make windmills and water wheels at a carpentry table, and then you use those to get like 7 other skills. So in order to go through all this, someone has to take tailoring. And you can see how the entire chart just gets really heavy the further right you go, because all of these things over here are really, really interdependent. Like, so the sawmill, right? So take your finger, go from carpentry, follow that thin line all the way over to smelting. Smelting gets you the anvil, which you need to make the sawmill. The sawmill gets you the mechanics table. The mechanics table gets you the advanced smelting you need to get composites. Oh, and by the way, you'll need pottery to make the blast furnace. To make, yeah, it's not an easy. On top of that, if you look at, you compare this to the research table. The search table and your stars. Like if you go into your skills list, we'll say that logging unlocks carpentry, and logging is supposed to unlock a carpentry book and something else. It doesn't. The same way that your stars say that hunting unlocks the butchery skill book. Again, it doesn't. So here we are now. It's a world. I've skipped the tutorials, cheated in a research table. Now again, the game is still in early access. We're in 0.9.2.4 or something like that, right? The game is pretty polished for a game that's in early access. I'll give them that. There's just a few little issues. So logging, right? Logging says you have to spend a star and it unlocks basic dendrology and the carpentry skill book. Issue being that the carpentry skill book is unlocked by default. Basic dendrology papers just cost wood. 20 wood. Like literally, if I just, here, you know what, here, I'll just do this. Give tiny stockpile. You go place, dang it. Give oak wood 10. Note to self. Cancel that out. Go here. Let's hook up our storage. Right, so from here, I have the ability to make dendrology research papers. Right, I can order it up. I can throw the calories into it. It's going to work. And I'm going to wind up getting logging experience even though I don't have the star. And it's going to sit here and decide what it's going to do. See, I think it's counting down. 10 more logs? Okay, fine. Hey, logs 10 here. Dunk. It's not gonna go because it's not at a building, obviously. But there's the few little issues like that. Right? This doesn't unlock the carpentry book. The carpentry book is unlocked here. Like that. Making 60 logs get you carpentry. Hunting says you need hunting for the butchery book. Again, butchery book is unlocked by default. Butchery book requires campfire cooking, however. Go figure that one out. Also, you need campfire cooking to get butchery. You need butchery to get all the stuff you're going to use in tailoring and to build the steam truck and tractor, because they require leather for the seats. Seems a little fancy for a steam-powered vehicle to have leather seats. But hey, let's not worry about that. You gotta have some luxury here and there, right? So again, back to our static image here. If you were playing this by yourself, this should help you figure out what order you have to take skills in. Like, The issue being that doesn't include any of this. This doesn't have any of the food production. That is literally its own spider web, because so many of the tables come from things made by other people. That if you were playing on a server with a decent amount of collaboration, right? The guy with the sawmill is going to get you some lumber, and the guy with masonry is going to get you some bricks. So, no, not masonry. The guy with smelting is going to get you some iron, and then one of those guys, probably the smelting dude, because he built the anvil, is going to make you the cast iron stove, so you can go and make salads and other things. Kitchen is built at the sawmill. I think it requires iron and cloth, so that's tailoring. The stove comes from, I think, the assembly line. Yeah, literally, cooking is its own spiderweb. I could not cram cooking onto this and still have it make any sense. That said, cooking just gets you all the calories and points you need to get all the other stars, so it's very important. But the guy doing the cooking can literally sit in his own corner, go grab stuff, cook. People will make him stuff. You will be contributing to the effort of shooting down the meteor, even if you're not out exploring the world and just slaving over a hot stove. Hey, someone's got to keep the world fed, right? The weird parts is, if you see, so on the left, you have farming, required for oil drilling. For some reason, that never quite clued in, mostly because I've played the cook. I think every time I've played this multiplayer, just because it's kind of relaxing to not have to worry about stressing out over how am I going to make this, how am I going to do that, and it's like, okay, just going to hop on the tractor, go get me some wheat, go make me some flour, going to cook some bread. I like the relaxing aspect of the game. But oil drilling requires, I think it's advanced culinary research papers. Either advanced or modern, I can't remember which. Advanced. I'm guessing that's because the oil refinery also makes biodiesel, which is kind of like cooking. I don't know. These guys decided the game. That's how it works. It's still a game where you can drive a steam vehicle on the bottom of the ocean, because they haven't quite figured out how to drown your car out yet. But anyway, yeah, if you're playing this by yourself, this should give you some idea of when or like at what point you should have to take a skill. Like even just from a top-down point, carpentry and masonry get you. Well, masonry gets you another tier 1 material. Campfire cooking gets you food. You have to take carpentry to make the tailoring table, and then some butchery to get better food. The tailoring will get you house decorations, which will speed up the housing decorations, and the food will speed up your skills so you can get the specialties sooner, rather than just like eating stuff you found on the ground. I don't advise that. In reality, in a video game, yeah, go. Actually, if it's carrots out of someone else's garden, I strongly recommend it. There's nothing better. Hopefully this gives you a hand. Again, we're in 0.9 point something. The game isn't final yet. I'm sure at some point they'll patch a few of the holes and maybe move something around. I will try to leave this image and probably a quick glimpse of all the progression of the tables in an IMGUR link or something like that, so you can take a look at it without needing to listen to me and just have it handy. Although, hey, I won't argue about getting watched, not at all. Hopefully at some point I'll figure out how to do all the cooking spiderweb, and I'll show that to you too. But I'll see you in the future.